All right, and a pleasant good morning to you coming from Tony'sPicks.com. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to Night Moves here for Tuesday, November the 18th. A little bit of a slow start here on Tuesday for me, but a little late start here for Tuesday for me, but definitely wanted to come at you and talk about tomorrow's or tonight's big schedule in the NBA, NHL, college basketball as well. And there's some action here, more action tonight. 3 games on tap in the MAC. I want to thank everyone for hanging out and waiting for me here on this Tuesday morning. A little bit of a busy night here for me, so just had to take a little moment to make sure we had a show going. And I've got a show for you here, but I've got to talk about the action from last night as well here on Night Moves. And well, what a night we had, huh? With here in Vegas, with the Raiders here. Could you believe it? On Tuesday night, man, what a debacle for Las Vegas here. Talk about not ready for prime time. The Raiders used to dominate Monday Night Football, but they were dominated there last night. Big time problems on the offensive line. The Raiders had to scrap their plans to finally break out their rookie right guard, but man, putting in the gentleman that they had in there last night, he was having a real tough time with those Cowboys defensive schemes. And well, when the Raiders came down to trying to run the ball out of the end zone at the 1 yard line, they got a running back who forgot that you got to run straight ahead at the goal line. You can't be putting on the moves 1 yard back of the goal line. I mean, when you see a safety happen like that at that time of the game, they were already toast. But Dak Prescott, impressive night for sure against a pretty weak Raiders defensive effort there. 4 touchdowns, 268 yards. Lot of haters there on Dak here, but he found an opponent he could beat, and they scored touchdowns on 4 consecutive drives during the game. So they outgained the Raiders by 150 yards there, and Dallas continues to look good as a road favorite. Dak looks good as a road favorite, man. Dak, real solid. They said that on primetime, Dak is now 13-1 in primetime games as a road favorite. So that's his role. And the Raiders, another wasted year here so far. They got a great situation in a real nice stadium. And I said Mark Davis can't even screw this one up, but he has. This team can't get anything together right now. Even made Jerry Jones would laughing, giggling, and smiling up there, watching his revamped defense kind of get loose and get healthy a little bit as well. So maybe the Cowboys can get something together, make some type of playoff push for their fans. They'll have tougher games down the road for sure. So they better get that one there, as the Raiders have lost 4 in a row, 8 of their last 9, and they're averaging really just 50 yards a game with their star back that they decided not even to use in the first half, really. I think they ran the ball just a handful of times. So if that was the game plan, that's not what you want to do, and it came back to haunt them in there as the Raiders, they not only couldn't run the ball, but they were average just 5 yards per pass attempt. So it's not, just because you have inconsistent Geno out there and some targets really that other than, Trey Tucker, Brock Bowers, you'd think that, the Raiders have a little bit of future in their passing game, but they've got to find the man with confidence that doesn't make big mistakes right when the middle of the drive's going on. So Cowboys hammered them last night, got the win and the cover there. As far as the total's concerned, I just guess it's going to matter of timing. We saw that the bottom fall out of the total there last night prior to the game, and it dropped down all the way to 47.5. So I think the late comers to the over are going to get there on that one. And those early backers of the under are the ones who won, as it kind of landed right in the middle of that overall move, right? I mean, it was anywhere from basically 47.5 to maybe even as high as 50.5, 51. So when it comes right in the middle there, and again, just a matter of market timing there on that one. And I think here on the show, we probably took an L because when we were on the show here last night, the total was around 50. So those who took the over prior to game time probably got in there. So that's up to the market timing and all that. So, all right, that's enough of that's enough of Monday Night Football. I don't know if there's much to get into as far as the final result there last night, as the Cowboys get a much-needed win and the Raiders are back to the drawing board once again. All right, NBA here last night. We saw some interesting results there as well, and brought home a couple winners here on the Night Move show from Monday night, but also some notable finishes as well. It was Miami in the featured game of the night over the Knicks, 115 to 113. Cleveland wins over the Bucks. The Bucks didn't have Giannis there for that one. He ended up being kind of injured in about maybe midway to towards the end of the second half, and that opened the way for Cleveland to get the win there last night over the Bucks. Detroit rocked again. They beat the miserable Pacers here last night, and it was Philly edging out the Clippers there last night, 110 to 108. Also, Toronto edged Charlotte by the same exact score, 110 to 108, and it was we might have got swept on here last night actually, with Oklahoma City rocking against New Orleans. We see injury woes still here for the Pelicans right now, and it was Minnesota rocking Dallas by 24 points, and the late night there, the Denver game. How about that one? With the Nuggets and the Bulls coming down there kind of to the wire a little bit there, as the Bulls easily got the money there in that one. All right, thank you for joining me here on the show. I want to thank everyone for coming in, and we'll take a look at some of the action here as well from on Monday night in the NHL, with a couple winners here on Night Moves. We had the Hurricanes and the Bruins game to go under there last night in a low-scoring 3-1 game. Carolina got the win on the road. We had some better success here on Night Moves in the NHL. Edmonton and Buffalo game went under there for a winner here for us. Buffalo got the 5-1 win. How about Florida rocking Vancouver 8-5? We had the over there, so it was pretty much a complete opposite on the Night Moves with the NHL. I think we swept the board. I think we got reverse sweep in basketball and a sweep in the NHL. I'm not great. That's bizarre. Vancouver and Florida, we had that one over. Okay, we also had on the show last night the Capitals. They got the 2-1 win over the Kings. And also here we did rock it with Columbus and a 4-3 win over Montreal. And late night we had Anaheim. So 6-0 in the NHL. And trying to beg for a win over here. We actually did pick up couple winners there on last night with we had Toronto and Charlotte under. How about that? Okay. Well, say hello to some folks in the chat. We got Timothy Hawk here joining me here live. We have Howard Hogan here as well. He's ready to go. Timothy Two Shoes as well here in the chat. Thank you, Timmy. And he liked that Bulls Nuggets there. Cowboys, give him credit for rallying around there, man. Look, I mean, we know how it went down for Nealon, but we just gotta hope that folks don't continue to suffer the same type of depression that players. Man, it just seems like these football players. I'm not saying because the helmet, the contact of the helmet and the brain injuries, especially with a young man like that. But yeah, they sucked it up and won one for their fallen player. All right. Let's get to the show here, possibly right now. There's also some college basketball last night, but tonight's a big night in college basketball. It's the marquee matchups, really, of the regular season. Not saying it's the biggest day of the regular season, but you have the Champions Classic here on Tuesday night from New York. So the two games involving blue bloods, always one of the featured attractions of the season. We'll preview both of those games here, but we did have some winners on night moves last night, including Drake and College of Charleston game. To go under here was a winner for us on the show yesterday. All right, let's get to some of the action here. I want to get right to it. Made you wait long enough, and so let's talk NBA basketball first off here for Tuesday night and get right to the schedule here with the Golden State Warriors are going to take on the Orlando Magic here. First off, the Warriors coming in here with a 9-6 mark straight up. Orlando comes in 7-7. Both teams in pretty good form here of late. The Warriors have won 3 straight right now following the win over New Orleans a couple of nights ago, 124-106. Not only have they won 3 straight, they've covered 3 straight, getting the job done here. Orlando also looking pretty good here of late, despite coming in off a loss to Houston, 117-113 on the road, but they did get the money in that one. They've been a pretty decent cover here of late, and then this spot as well. This will be only the 3rd time this year. We've talked about it. Orlando has been a favorite most of the time, but as an underdog, they are 2-0 this season, and this will be that 3rd time that they are an underdog here. The Warriors not exactly straight up healthy here, as Kuminga will be out, and for Orlando, Banchero is out as well. Mo Wagner is questionable. Jalen Suggs questionable here as well in this one. All right, in this little matchup here, this series between the overall series between these two teams, definitely have just meeting twice a year here, obviously, but there is Golden State covering 4 of the last 5 meetings overall against the Magic, and Orlando, though, has won 5 of the last 7 at home against Golden State. So I'm going to take Orlando here in this one, plus 3 points. Like I said, 2-0 against the spread as an underdog. Orlando has not been a great cover at home, but again, they've been favored so often usually this season. Higher expectations maybe than most people thought, but they still come in here at 500 record. So I'm going to grab 3 points and take the Orlando Magic at home in this one. All right, Mr. Weskers is like with me with the Magic and Timmy also. So we're in agreement. The Boston Celtics are on the road taking on those Brooklyn Nets. Oh, man, the Brooklyn Nets are hot. They've won 1 in a row right now, coming in here off of a win over the Washington Wizards of all things. They crushed them a couple of nights ago. I didn't think they had a chance. I mean, come on. How is Brooklyn going to win a game on the road? But they did, so they're actually covered 3 in a row. So gives Brooklyn some credit. They're getting a bushel full here from a Boston team that, quite frankly, is not very good against the spread. 2-5 against the spread on the road this season. Boston, however, is coming in off of a couple of wins in a row. They did not cover last time out against the Clippers in a 121-118 win, laying 5 at home the other night. They did beat Memphis before that, 131-95. But again, Boston just 5-9 ATS this season, 2-5 ATS on the road. While Brooklyn, there was no here a dismal 2-11 here so far, and Boston 7-7, but for Orlando, at least, they are 50-50 proposition covering the spread at home and just 6-7 ATS overall. Why couldn't 10.5 points be enough here for Brooklyn? I'm taking them. Give me the Nets to hang in there. Look, like I said, when you come in here and covered 3 in a row, and you've been as bad as the Nets here right now. I'll give them a little bit of credit for at least getting something going. Boston's beaten the Nets in 8 straight meetings. Here right now, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Nets here in this one, plus 10.5 points against Boston here on Tuesday night. All right. Let's see if you guys have anything here. Mr. Wesker says Celtics laying that points again. Well, yeah, they're going to be favored in this one. All right. The Memphis Grizzlies are on the road here, taking on the San Antonio Spurs. I think this one's out of order a little bit. I think they moved the time up of the Hawks game, but let's go with this one here. Memphis has lost 4 in a row here right now, but I think the news here is certainly the status of Victor Wembanyama. We heard that news come out here yesterday that Wemby's going to be missing some time here, possibly as long as 2.5 weeks. So we are seeing a little bit of a move here overnight. The Grizzlies have actually been moved down here to a 5.5 point favorite within the last few minutes, actually, here while we were getting ready for the show. So a little bit of a move there, and maybe no Wemby is going to have a little bit of a factor here, but it's built into the line. We know he is going to be out here for quite some time with that calf injury. I would say at least 2 weeks is what the report said here. So Stephon Castle's out of this one as well for the Grizzlies. Ja Morant also will be missing extended time with a calf injury here as well. We don't know his timetable for a return either. There are far more injuries on the Memphis side, actually. Javon Small, questionable. OMP is questionable. Ty Jerome is out. Pippen, these guys have been out for a while, so but those other 3 injuries are more short-term and impactful in this game. Think of Memphis here, really one of the worst spread teams in the league here currently at 4-10 overall. Also just 1-8 against the spread as an underdog, 1-5 against the spread on the road. Yeah, San Antonio hasn't been a very good cover here this season either, which is ironic because they really were off to that flying start, and they're still 9-4 overall. Memphis coming in 4-10 straight up. At least San Antonio is 4-3-1 against the spread at home. So, that's probably their best situation because they are also kind of a losing proposition. They're 3-6-2 against the spread as a favorite. I think for me, I'm going to go to the under here in this one. This one's already kind of going down here. 230. It's not 238. I know that. That's what I had. I think that's just a typo, actually. It's 232.5 right now. It was a little bit higher for certain, but I got to go under here in this one with the Grizzlies and the Spurs. Spurs been a little bit of an over team this season, but the Grizzlies are 3-6 against the spread as an underdog, and they've been going under the spread, under the total here quite a bit, actually, of late. Memphis has gone under in 8 of their last 10 games overall coming in. Although San Antonio, like I said, has been a little bit of an over. They are 3-5 to the under at home. So I got to go under here in this one with Memphis and San Antonio here on Tuesday. All right. And hello to Kurt Adams in the chat as well. And Mr. Wesker's concerned there about no Wemby in the lineup. And Timmy Chushu is also questioning what the Spurs will do without Wemby. I think the franchise has kind of worked itself into position to still be pretty good. I mean, it'll always be reflected in the line, and the Spurs are definitely a team on the rise. Yes, you want to have Wemby if you're going to make any impact long-term in the Western Conference. However, I think the Spurs in general are a team on the rise and can support that. Look, basically, we're talking about both the teams without their star player. I think the Spurs are more equipped to handle not having their star player than the Grizzlies are right now. But although you might argue that while Wemby is out, he's a chemistry guy when he's in there. When Ja is in there, maybe he upsets the apple cart a little bit. Oh boy, look at this. This is the game of the Is this the game of the day right here? I think so. The Pistons and the Hawks, two super hot teams, not, you know, we know Detroit's been hot all season. They're 12-2 and coming in with a massive winning streak here right now. But who saw this from the Hawks all of a sudden? A little 5-game winning streak here right now. Hey, that'll work if you're Atlanta. They need it. Atlanta coming here with not only 5 straight wins, but 5 straight covers over the Lakers, the Clippers, the Kings, the Jazz, and the Suns. What do all those teams have in common? They're in the Western Conference, but Detroit back in conference play here. Man, 10 straight wins for the Pistons. They've covered 4 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams. They've also gone 8-2 against the spread here in the last 10 games overall. 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone over. The move kind of has come in on the under here. You see it. I'm listing the game here as a pick'em right now, and the total 228.5. Look, you need to look no further than Detroit is one of the biggest surprises in the league here so far this season. Not only that, they're 3-1 against the spread as an underdog here so far. And for Atlanta, although this has been a good streak here currently, they're not the best against the spread overall. Although 7-3 here in their last 10, they have heated up against the spread. But so far this season, just 2-3 ATS at home, 3-4 ATS as a favorite. And Cade Cunningham is the big question in this one right now. And, a lot of people are probably going to want to wait with his status here. Such an impactful player, and he is questionable with a hip injury here. He has played in 11 of the 14 games so far this season, but this has been a little bit cumbersome here. Sure Thompson, questionable in this one for Atlanta. Okongwu is questionable. Risha Shea is questionable as well. KP questionable. So these are some impactful injuries, it feels like, for Atlanta. But, man, they've just been real strong here right now. I don't know if it's been as strong as Detroit here, though. Maybe this will be the spot for them to shut them down here a little bit. So I think for me it's going to be a defensive game, actually. I think Atlanta's playing well enough here. Detroit is 1-4 to the under on the road. I'm actually going to take the under here in this one, despite the series history pointing to the over. I'm going to go under 228 here in this one between Detroit and Atlanta here on Tuesday. Going to have to wait for the Cunningham, even get a little bit more of a status here, it feels like. Mr. Wesker says might have to trade Trae Young. Yeah, just get him healthy here. Hey, if Atlanta can, get some chemistry together, I mean, he would, kind of fit the bill that they always need with Young. All right. Yeah, Timmy Tushin says, look at this. Atlanta maybe improved defensively. Timmy does like the over, though, in this one. Look, Detroit's been going over here a little bit. I'll give you that. And like I said, the series history certainly points to it. Kurt is also on the over in this one. Jimmy and Kurt here liking it. Thanks to my crew, the Chat All-Stars, with me here tonight on Night Moves. We're going to move on here right now to the next one. We've got the Utah Jazz on the road taking on the Los Angeles Lakers. Lakers come in having won 2 in a row right now and keeping it together here. Big favorite, double digits here over the Jazz. The Lakers with wins and covers on the road against New Orleans and Milwaukee. They're coming off a 4-game road trip where they went 3-1 straight up in ATS. And the only blemish was a blowout loss to Oklahoma City. Well, you can't have too much of a problem with that. So the return home here and great numbers so far this season, 4-1 against the spread. As a favorite are the Lakers, only 4-1 against the spread uh, this season. They've been an underdog that frequently, 9 times so far here. But they're going to be a favorite against the Jazz. Now the Jazz are 7-4 against the spread as an underdog, but still should be noted 2-4 against the spread on the road. Not their best position here right now. Talking about the Utah Jazz, the Jazz are 1-5 to the under on the road, but the Lakers are 5-0 to the over at home. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone over. For the Jazz here in this one, they're going to be Taylor Hendricks questionable. Kyle Anderson is questionable here. For the Lakers, Hachimura probable. Marcus Smart probable. Gabe Vincent is questionable in this one. I think the Lakers will blow them out. I think this is going to maybe the Lakers lack blowout potential for some people, but right now pretty good here at home. Just 3-2 straight up in ATS, but I think they've got an opponent they can handle here in the Utah Jazz. I'm going to take the Lakers here in this one. All right, and Kurt does like he's going to take Utah to spring an upset here on the money line. Mr. Wesker is wondering if Bronny James is going to start in this one, and if so, he likes Utah. One more here on Tuesday night. It's going to be the Suns taking on the Trailblazers. Suns have been scorching, and they've been hot. This is the late Peacock game. This is the old 11 p.m. Eastern special here on Tuesday night with the Blazers. Favored in this one by 2 right now. This is an open maybe as high as 4 or 4.5. So we've definitely seen a move to Phoenix here in this one. Phoenix has been a pretty solid cover here of late for sure, but they are missing Grayson Allen here in this game. He's been so critical to their success so far. Quietly, Allen has continued to develop his game. We know he's a promising player and a pretty okay player for sure so far, but man, just every time out there just seems to make the right decisions. Jalen Green is out here in this one for Portland. Matisse Thybulle questionable here. Drew Holiday is doubtful. All right, Portland here 4-1 to the over at home. They're 6-0 to the over as a favorite. Meanwhile, Phoenix has been going under here of late. They've gone under in 7 of their last 10 and 5 of their last 7, but Portland's gone over in 6 of 7. Portland 5-1 against the spread at home. Phoenix 0-5 against the spread in this series in the last 5 meetings here. Phoenix has been pretty hot here of late, but still just 2-4 straight up on the road and against the spread. Portland has not been a good favorite, but they're barely a favorite now here at -2. So I'm going to go ahead and take Portland here in this one. They are 4-1 against the spread at home. Phoenix has been hot. Yeah, Portland maybe cooled down here a little bit of late. They've lost 2 straight and have some other losses here recently, but they are coming off a massive road trip here that saw them struggle here of late, going 0-5 ATS, maybe 0-4-1 if you look back at the game against New Orleans. They might have gotten the cover. They were maybe favored by 8 or 8.5 and an 8-point win on the road against the Pelicans. So I'm going to take Portland to get healthy here and get a win over the Phoenix Suns on Tuesday night. All right. And Kurt's with me. He's on Portland. That's it for the NBA on Tuesday night. Next up, we got to go to a little Maction. Here on Tuesday, there are 3 games in the MAC. And let's take you to them right now and look at these matchups. Oh boy. All right, here you go. First up, we got uh, the worst team in the country. I think we can all safely say here in UMass. They're 0-10, 0-6 in conference play, and they're going up against Ohio. Ohio 4-2 in the MAC. 6-4 overall this season for Ohio. You got an Ohio team that basically has won 12 straight games at home dating back to last season. They've won 15 of their last 18 conference games. They're 13-4 overall in their last 17 games dating back to last season. UMass has lost 12 straight on the road. They've lost them all this year. They're 1-5 against the spread in their last. They actually covered a few games this season, but 4 of their last 5 games have gone over here for UMass. Just a bit bad matchup here on a Tuesday night, but hey, it's MACtion. In fact, we're showing right now the total here at 51.5 between these two teams, and UMass is 5-2 to the over as a dog. They also are just 2-8 ATS, 1-4 ATS on the road, 1-6 ATS as a dog. So not only are they dreadful, but they can't cover any spreads either. Ohio is 4-1 against the spread at home. Can you stand it? I can. As long as it's not over 35 points, I'm going to take Ohio U here in this one over UMass. Give me the Bobcats in this one. Massachusetts is so bad here. Kurt is going to be on Ohio and lay 33. All right, next up. The Akron Zips are on the road, taking on the Bowling Green Falcons. Bowling Green comes in here in quite the slump. They're favored by 3, but they've lost 4 straight games coming into this one. They lost to Central at home as a 3.5-point favorite. They lost to Kent on the road as a 7.5-point favorite. They lost to Buffalo at home 28-3. They've been going downhill fast here right now for Bowling Green. Bowling Green coming in here at record of 1-5 in conference overall, 3-7 here for Akron. They're 3-4 in conference, 4-7 overall. They haven't been a very good spread team either, but Bowling Green's 0-4 against the spread as a favorite so far this season. So I think Akron probably comes in here and actually wins this game. They've only won 1 of 5 on the road. Yeah, Bowling Green's won 3 of their 5 home games coming in, and they've won the last 3 in the series as well, including last season as Bowling Green won 27-20 at Akron last year. But Akron has only won 3 of the last 13 meetings against Bowling Green. 9 of the last 13 meetings between the two teams have gone under. But I'm going to take Akron here in this one, plus 3 points on the road as Bowling Green has been struggling here down the stretch. Akron's covered for the last 5 meetings between the two, despite the fact that that Bowling Green had won 3. In fact, last year was a 17-point spread for Bowling Green. They did not cover in the game against Akron. And I want to say hello to Kenny Moe in the chat tonight. Kurt just says take Bowling Green here on the money line. And Greg says he had the Capitals last night. All right, one more here in the MAC. And we got to get to this one for sure with Western Michigan, the current leaders in the MAC here currently. Coming in here 6-4, taking on 3-7 Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois just 2-4 in conference play. Western Michigan finishing strong here with a couple of wins of late. They beat Ohio last time out. 17-13 is a 1.5 point favorite. Western Michigan is 4-1 ATS as a favorite. Meanwhile, Northern Illinois just 1-5 against the spread as an underdog here. So it looks like they could and should maybe cover a touchdown here on the road. So far, Western Michigan just 1-3 to the under on the road. Northern Illinois also 1-3 to the under at home. Four of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Western Michigan just 1-5 against the spread. Their last 6 against Northern Illinois. But Northern Illinois, like I said, has struggled here of late, covering just 2 of their last 6 games overall. And Western Michigan's covered 5 of their last 7. Western Michigan has been a constant under here over the last season and a half. I'm going to go with the under here in this one at 38.5. Give me the under here with Western Michigan and Northern Illinois on Tuesday night. All right, and I think here, let's see, Northern Illinois money line for Kurt. Thank you, guys. So look at the action here for Tuesday night. And we'll keep it rolling here on Night Moves as we're going to move on to the National Hockey League. And we got an 8-game card here in the NHL on Tuesday night. Let's get rolling with this action here and start off with the Seattle Kraken on the road taking on the Detroit Red Wings here in this one. Philip Grubauer is in there. He hasn't made too many starts here this season, just his 5th start. He's 3-0-1, coming in with a 2.2 goals against average and a 90.5% save percentage up here against Cam Talbot of the Red Wings. Talbot comes in here with a 7-2 record and a 2.71 goals against and an 89.5% save percentage. The Kraken have won 2 straight with wins over Winnipeg and San Jose. Meanwhile, for the Red Wings, they are coming in here off of a win over the Rangers on the road, 2-1. Seattle's gone over in 5 of their 8 road games so far this season. Meanwhile, Detroit's gone under in 4 of 6 games as a favorite. Seattle here, 11-2 as a puck line underdog. It is pretty pricey here. You got to go upwards of $1.85 or so to get that puck line here. Maybe a little bit less, but still 11-2 as a puck line favorite. Meanwhile, as a puck line underdog. Meanwhile, Detroit just 1-5 as a puck line favorite. We've talked about these 1-goal games this season. Every game is tight and close, it feels like right now. How about this little note? If you played the regulation draw in every game so far this season, entering Monday night, you'd have been up 51 units. Usually you get paid pretty well on a full game draw, and there have been a lot of overtime games this season. Imagine that. You might get bored. You might not even care to watch the games. You're picking a draw every time, but you could take those 51 units and maybe play the live in the overtime if you want. But just interesting to note, so many close games this season that it has resulted in plus 50 units if you just took the draw every night on every game. Man, who wants to do that? But I guess you could just sit there and do it. Why not? Also, you might why don't I just do it on the games that are closely rated? But you got to have the payoff on those games that are one-sided as well. So, all right, see how you have this one. You do have a. Let me take a look here at the series between these two teams as well, and I want to hear from you guys in the chat in this one. There's a lot of comments here. Thank you, guys. Great to have everyone in the chat joining me here. I knew you'd be here. Kurt's on Seattle on the puck line. Jimmy's got it as an under here. And let's see here. I think that might be it for. Oh, here's Timothy. He's on the Red Wings tonight. All right. I'm going to take the under here in this one with Seattle and Detroit here. Give me the under with these two. Seattle's been kind of an under. Mentioned, maybe 5-3 to the over on the road, but still here under in 8 of their last 12 games. Give me the under with Seattle and Detroit. Hey, good to see Sir Mackey in the chat. Great to see Sir Mackey there. And also there's Greg. He likes it 3-2 Red Wings. The New Jersey Devils are on the road taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Devils come in here trying to make life happen after Hughes here with the key injury right now. And look, they've been great. He's been great. He's important to this lineup here, certainly, but he's out with that hand injury. However he did it, we're not going to ask or worry about it. Bottom line is he's out for a while with that. Was it a laceration? Was it a severed digit? Maybe it sounded so bad. But Jack Hughes certainly out here currently. But look, New Jersey's been playing pretty great here. Dougie Hamilton also questionable here in this one. But still, they're going to be an underdog here and a pretty considerable one, despite how hot they've been right now. And they still have won a couple games in a row here over Chicago and over Washington. But been real strong here, obviously. But now they're in here as an underdog, and New Jersey's 5-2 as an underdog this season. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay is just 6-7 straight up as a favorite. To me, that still says you can maybe ride with New Jersey here. You might even be getting a little bit better price because of this Hughes injury here. New Jersey is 5-2 to the over as an underdog, and Tampa Bay's been a slight trend to the over at home. 6 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams have gone over. New Jersey's always kind of struggled here in Tampa Bay, having lost 15 of the last 20 meetings between the two teams. But I just think New Jersey's playing well enough right now. In Tampa Bay, they are coming in off a 6-2 loss to Vancouver. For whatever reason at home, they're just in a bit of a funk. They lost to the Rangers at home as well. So I'm going to try the Devils here again and take this plus money. Give me New Jersey in this one. All right. Let's see. Mr. Weskers is on the Devils here for sure. And Timothy likes the Devils as well in this one. Although Kurt says Tampa Bay can rebound after the loss there to Vancouver. And Timothy does like the under here in this one. I'd probably kind of latch onto that as well. The St. Louis Blues are on the road taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. And man, what has happened? Toronto, things were going so well, but now all of a sudden they've hit a pretty bad skid here, having lost 5 straight games coming in. We know St. Louis has been in a funk here, but they've lost a couple in a row, but had wins recently over Calgary and Buffalo. Still just 6-9-4 this season. Although this is a pretty good roll for St. Louis as well. They're 4-3 this season as an underdog in Toronto, just 8-8 as a favorite. Toronto, a slight favorite here in this one, and yeah, this losing streak's pretty bad here right now. They lost to Chicago on the road last time out. They lost to the Kings at home. They lost to Boston on the road before that. They actually were alternating. Their road, home and road. They were home against Carolina and lost at Boston, home against the Kings and then lost at Chicago. Toronto's just 1-7 in their last 8 games at home against the Blues. Yeah, the teams only play twice a year. That's an 8-year sample size, but for whatever reason, St. Louis always has a pretty good trip in here. And they've beaten Toronto in 11 of the last 16 meetings. I'm going to take another dog here and take St. Louis at even money in this one against Toronto. All right, and let's see here. Yeah, typical Toronto, says Mr. Weskers. Timothy likes the Maple Leafs here. And I think Greg says he's singing the blues. And Kurt says this one's got to go over. Yeah, it's got to go over here, right? I mean, don't forget Toronto's still on this massive overrun. Okay, they finally went under in the game against Chicago, so they've only gone over in 13 of their last 14 right now. They're also 11-2 to the over at home, 13-3 to the over as a favorite. St. Louis is 11-8 to the over this season, 5-2 to the over on the road. I will mention they are 2-5 to the under as a dog, so it is an over team that plays to the under in the underdog role. But I'm going to take St. Louis here in this one. Greg said it'll be 4-3 tonight. The Columbus Blue Jackets are on the road taking on the Winnipeg Jets. The Jets come in a pretty big favorite here with an 11-7 record so far, but Columbus has been doing a good job. They're 10-7-2. They've won 3 of their last 4. Coming in, they're coming off of a win at home against Montreal, 4-3. They also have wins recently over Edmonton and Seattle. They did lose to the Rangers 2-1. Blue Jackets, so 5-9 is an underdog this season. Meanwhile, Winnipeg 11-5 as a favorite. Columbus, though, is 11-3 as a puck line underdog here. And Winnipeg just 8-8 as a puck line favorite, although that's not terrible. Certainly here with the NHL puck lines, if you're close to 500, you're going to be fine. First meeting of the season between these two teams. They play twice a year. Right now, Winnipeg just 9-7 to the over as a favorite coming in, but Columbus here has lost 4 of their last 5 on the road. 4 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams have gone under. Winnipeg's been strong at home here right now, but I don't know. I'm going to have to look at Columbus here on the puck line in this one. Yeah, going to have to lay a little bit for sure here with the Blue Jackets. You want to grab that 1.5, but I'm willing to do it. Give me Columbus here plus 1.5 in this one at minus. Let me make sure I got the price here right. Minus $1.45. All right, from you guys in this one, the Blue Jackets and the Jets, Winnipeg money line in regulation. Greg likes it 3-2 Jets. Timmy Two Shoes got Connor for an anytime goal. The New York Islanders take on the Dallas Stars here on Tuesday night. Got the Stars coming in here right now with a solid mark of 12-4-3. The big winning streak here currently for the Stars. The Islanders saw their winning streak come to an end last time out, but they also had been hot. They lost to Colorado 4-1. Nothing wrong with that. Before that, they won against Utah, one against VGK, one against the Rangers, and one against the Devils. Dallas, meanwhile, comes in here 7-1-2 in their last 10 games. Pretty hot for sure. They are, however, just 2-12 as a puck line favorite. Meanwhile, the Islanders 8-4 as a puck line underdog. Price here right now $1.55. Total in this one 6/20. Islanders have lost 5 of their last 7 here against Dallas. 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams have gone under. Dallas has won 5 of their last 6 at home. The Islanders have dropped Islanders have won 4 of their last 5 games coming into this one. They've been a pretty good underdog this year at 7-5 straight up. Dallas, meanwhile, 6-3 straight up at home. Man, I'm going to take the Islanders here in this one to stop this winning streak. Can't take them here, I don't think, on that puck line. However, it's still just too high at minus $1.70 or so. I'll take the Islanders here on the money line at Dallas on Tuesday. Greg's got Dallas to take care of business here, 4-2. Kurt likes the under in this one. He says Dallas will rock them 4-1. Timothy's on the Stars as well. The Calgary Flames are on the road taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. Calgary continues to be one of the weak links in the NHL with a 5-12-3 record. Meanwhile, Chicago comes in 9-5-4 here. They've been pretty hot of late. They just beat Toronto. Remember to keep the losing going for the Maple Leafs. They did lose to New Jersey before that, but they lost just 4-3, and they were knocking off teams such as Detroit, Calgary, and Vancouver before that. Chicago comes in here 4-2 at home so far this season. Calgary, big time struggles on the road, 2-8 overall here. Man, it just feels like it's too easy for Chicago in this one. They've been very, very strong. I don't think it's a fluke here right now. They're a solid start. Maybe they've overshot their expectations here a little bit, but they've been growing and learning. And got Dustin Wolf in here. Spencer Knight going up against Dustin Wolf. Knight 7-3-3 with a 2.42 goals against and a 92.5% save percentage for Dustin Wolf. He's been not great, 5-10-2 with a 3 goals against average and 89.5% save percentage. The teams just met 11 days ago. Chicago won it 4-0, and that was at Calgary. I got to take the Chicago Blackhawks here for sure in this one. Give me the Blackhawks on night moves, please. Timothy's on them here. I mean, this seems like great time, a great price, doesn't it? $1.15. Kurt's on Chicago. Money lines up for Tuesday. ATG. Timmy Two Shoes got Burakovsky and Smith for parlay. Jay, hey, I want to say hello to Jay Stones in there. Man, Jay, nice to have you as a member of the chat. All-Stars. So Chicago just beat them. Might be a revenge spot. Hey, I'd probably agree with you there, but this Calgary team right now has just been dreadful. It feels like one of the worst teams in the league to me right now. Maybe they've played slightly better of late, but that's because I think their record was just so bad. Greg here likes 3-2 Chicago. I think that'd be just it. If you were looking at $1.50 price here, but $1.15, that seems strong, almost trappy. The New York Rangers are on the road here, taking on the Golden Knights in Vegas. Here, the Golden Knights favored $1.40. The total 620. Are the New York Rangers playing on the road? They might win this one. That's where they do their winning. They win at home. They win it on the road. They lose at home. The Rangers have won 3 of their last 4 games coming in. Guess what? They lost at home to the Red Wings. Before that, they beat Tampa Bay on the road. They beat Columbus on the road. They're 9-1 on the road so far this season. This is where the Rangers have been doing their damage for sure. VGK here is just 6-8 as a favorite straight up this season. Now, the Rangers are just 4-4 as an underdog. They're favored quite often in 12 of their 20 games so far this season. The Rangers are also 6-2 on the puck line and as a puck line underdog, and the Golden Knights are 3-11 as a puck line favorite. Man, the way things are going here, you got to take the Rangers in this one. Give me the Rangers on the road. Vegas having some struggles here for sure. Coming in here off of a loss last time out to Minnesota, 3-2 at Minnesota. They did win at St. Louis, but before that, they were on a losing streak at home, where the Knights losing to Anaheim, Florida, and the Islanders. All right, Timmy Tushu. Let's see here. Timothy does like Vegas here. Kurt also on Vegas. Greg likes the Rangers in this one, 3-2. I got to take the Rangers as well. All right, the Utah Mammoth are on the road taking on the San Jose Sharks. Ooh. Utah comes in here 10-7-2, but they've lost a couple in a row. Meanwhile, the Sharks also have dropped a couple in a row. They come in here with a record of 8-3. Sharks are 4-3 at home so far this season. Utah 6-6 on the road for Utah here. Got Vanacek in goal, 2-3 record, 2.84 goals against, and 87.5% save percentage for the Sharks here in this one. Askarov possibly in goal here in this one. He's 5-1 with 309 goals against and a 90.5% save percentage. And look, got the Sharks here. They're going to be. Are they the favorite in this one? They're not the favorite in this one. The Mammoth are the favorite in this one. So on the road, look, Utah's been a team that has not played as well on the road as they have at home. That's for sure. They are 5-6 on the road, but man, I'm going to take the Sharks here in this one. Well, plus money here. I gotta try San Jose here for sure. Look, this has been a great start. We talked about how good they've looked. Yeah, they lost 2 in a row, but they were on a winning streak before that. And Greg says he's got a 4-3 Mammoth. Let's look at the NHL here for Tuesday night. Let's go to the college ranks. We've got some big-time action. Like we said, this is the featured attraction of the regular season tonight, the Champions Classic, featuring the Blue Bloods at Madison Square Garden. Let's get into it. The Michigan State Spartans are on the road, or here in MSG, taking on the Kentucky Wildcats. Those Cats will rock you. Got Kentucky here, favored by 5. Total here 153 here for Michigan State. They do come in here with a 3-0 record currently. UK does have a loss on its ledger already this season. They lost to Louisville 96-88 at the Yum Center in the big Kentucky matchup there last week. However, UK comes in on a win over Eastern Illinois. They beat them by 46 as a 36-point favorite. They also have a 30-point covers against Valpo and Nichols. Michigan State comes in with consecutive wins to open the season over Colgate, Arkansas, and San Jose, but they've gone just 1-2 ATS so far this season. This is Kentucky's first game here. Let me see here. First, let's see here. Favored by 36 over East Illinois. Okay, they did not cover against Nichols. Okay, they beat Nichols by 26 as a 31.5-point favorite. Okay, I gotcha. UK is 3-1 to the over in their 4 games this season. Meanwhile, Michigan State is 1-2 to the under so far this season. And let's see here. They do have there's a little bit of series history with these two. Mostly because we see these teams constantly match up at the Champions Challenge here. 4 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams have gone under. All right. Yeah, for me, I'm going to go ahead and take the under in this one with Michigan State and Kentucky. Give me the under here in this one. The teams have not met since 2022 here at the Champions Classic. It was 86-77. Michigan State did get the win as a 7-point dog. And then the teams met also here in this event back in 2019 and 2016. Kentucky won both of those. They rotate the matchup every year. So, all right, Michigan State for Mr. Weskers. Kurt is on Michigan State. Greg says Kentucky by 4. Timothy said, which way has the total moved actually in this game? It's moved to the under for sure across the board. Yeah, it's moved under for sure. All right. Izzo's a great coach, but they always fall short. They've won it before. All right, next up, Towson is on the road here, taking on James Madison. Towson comes in with a 3-1 record right now. James Madison just 1-3. They've lost 2 straight to Long Island and to Longwood. Here they beat Coppin for their only win of the season. James Madison is 0-4 against the spread so far. Towson comes in here 2-1 ATS so far this season. 2-1 straight up as well. They did lose their only road game so far, but they actually covered in that game against Houston. They lost by 17 points as a 25.5-point favorite. If you're covering against Houston, you might be doing something right. I think Towson might be the side here to win this game, the way things are going for Madison right now. But Madison has won both of their home games so far. It's just one of them, though, I think was a non-Division I start for JMU. They had defeated Washington and Lee. So they're also lost to Akron there to open the season. So hasn't been a good start at all here for James Madison. I'm going to go ahead and take Towson on the road in this one. All right, Timmy likes James Madison. Kurt likes James Madison here on the money line. All right, guess my crew's on the James Madison here, but I got to take Towson in this one. Greg says Towson here by 3. The Rhode Island Rams are on the road taking on the Yale Bulldogs. In this one, you got Rhode Island coming in here with a 3-1 record. Meanwhile, Yale comes in undefeated. Rhode Island 3-1 ATS. Yale's 0-1 ATS at home, but 2-1 ATS overall. Yale's gone over in all 3 games so far this season. Rhode Island's had the luxury of playing all their first 4 games at home so far. Yale's on a 3-game streak here, but let's see, who was their cover? They failed to cover against Stonehill last time out, but they own covers over Quinnipiac and Texas A&M. Meanwhile, for Rhode Island, they did fail last time out against Albany. They were a 15.5 point favorite. I got them covering that game. Let me see here. It was... Let me look at Rhode Island's ledger here. Okay, they lost to Tulsa 82-65, so that was their failure here. They did get the money against Albany there, winning by 19 as a 15.5 point favorite. So give them credit for that. I think Rhode Island probably stays here in this game against Yale right now. I'm going to take the Rams in this one. All right. Timmy likes Yale at home. Greg likes Yale here. He likes to kind of write on the number, however. I want to say, hey, there's Sir Mackey. He's betting a little Asian basketball here in the middle of the night on Night Moves. All right. Next up, the Wichita State Shockers are on the road here, taking on the Boise State Broncos. And we're loaded up here in the Extra Mile Arena for a couple of teams playing pretty well to start the season. You got Wichita here on a 3-game string, wins over Cashville, Prairie View, and Loyola of Illinois. They got the money in all of them. Boise State, meanwhile, here with consecutive wins over Utah Valley, Rio Grande, and Montana State, although they are 2-1 so far, ATS. This one figures to be a pretty decent game. Boise's loss so far, let's see, who was that loss to? Oh yeah, that was right. I was like, why are we seeing this loss here? Because usually teams don't lose their exhibition games, but that's what happened to Boise. They lost their opener against Hawaii Pacific, 79-78. As Hawaii Pacific came to the mainland and won. Maybe that fired them up a little bit as all of a sudden Boise has rocked their last 3 opponents pretty good, although they did not get the money against Montana State last time out as a 62-58 win. Boy, the worse the opposition, maybe talk about playing down to your competition. Boise is 1-2 to the under so far this season. I'm going to go with the under in this one at 151 between Wichita and Boise. Wichita is 2-1 to the over so far, but on the road here at Boise, I'm going to go under 151. All right, let's see here. Kurt likes Wichita. Oh, Kurt likes Wichita to rock these guys. Man, take him on the money line for sure. Here he says, 9.5 point dog. They'll win it by a dozen. Great call there, Kurt. Wow. Greg here likes it pretty much right on the number, 80-70. Timmy says, take the Shockers plus those points. All right, you guys are on Wichita for sure. All right, next up, back to the Champions Classic at the Garden with another battle of blue bloods here with Kansas taking on Duke. Kansas has a loss already so far this season. Duke comes in undefeated. Kansas lost to North Carolina 87-74. So far, Kansas where they were a dog in that game. Duke not only 4-0 overall, but 4-0 against the spread. So here we are again. Duke looking very much the part. Wins over Texas, Western Carolina, Army, and Indiana State. Hey, not the toughest of schedules so far, but good enough to rock so far with the Blue Devils here. Duke is 1-3 to the under so far this season. Kansas is 1-3 to the under so far this season, although their only over was that game as an underdog against Carolina that finished with 161 total points in that one. I got to go under here in this one for sure. Give me under 151 between Kansas and Duke. Teams actually met last season. Kansas won 75-72 as a 4.5-point dog. That one went for 147 and went under. And they met in the Champions Classic as well. It was 69-64 back 3 years ago here in New York. Kansas basically was a pick 'em in that game, and Kansas won. All right, and Greg says he's got it right on the number here pretty much. Says Duke wins at 82-70. Timmy says Duke to smash. He can't fade him. All right, I got here one more in the college ranks, and it'll be on the added board. So I want to take a look at this one with Stephen F. Austin on the road here, taking on Fresno State. Stephen F. Austin comes in with a 4-0 record here right now, 3-0 against Division I competition. So I want to take a look. Here at the Lumberjacks coming in. They've beaten Abilene Christian, Rice, and Arkansas State to get the money 3 consecutive times here. Last out was the game against ACU. They won 76-66 as a 6.5-point underdog. Meanwhile, for Fresno, they did win their only chance as an underdog last out. They beat Utah Valley 75-74 at home. They were a dog here in that one here at the Save Mart Center. So, man, Stephen F. Austin looks pretty good here so far, but I'm going to just go to the total here in this one and go over. So far, Stephen F. Austin 1-2 to the under, 0-1 to the under as a favorite, but they did go over in that road game to against Rice, 81-69 to barely sneak over here. But at 146, I got to go over in this one between Stephen F. Austin and Fresno. Give me the over on Tuesday night. All right, I think that's going to do it here for night moves for Tuesday. I want to thank everyone for being patient, waiting for me here, and have a great sports betting day on Tuesday, and we'll be back tomorrow with more night moves here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. But don't forget, you can head on over to Tony'sPicks.com and check out our premium picks. Our best picks are over at Tony'sPicks.com. You know, even for me, you can see me on several different channels and all kinds of different shows and streams. But just know that my best picks are here every day over at Tony'sPicks.com. The absolute best picks every day from our team of handicappers. Check out the handicapper leaderboards and see who's hot, and then get signed up. Look at some of the hot cappers right now over at Tony's Picks. Whoops. There we go. Got Rod in there with a huge day at 5-1. Brian Palmer, 4-0. Great job, Brian. Way to go. He's been crushing it here of late. So nice job there. I had some winners also on the card here on Monday night. I went 2-1 with my NFL props here, and I also went 2-1 with my college basketball action here on Monday. So check me out over at Tony'sPicks.com and check out my best bets over here. Take a look at some of those. There's the winners I had there with Dak over in his passing yards there, and also Lockett over 33. And then take a look at the college basketball action there. Oh, I don't think we have it quite in there yet. It maybe wasn't quite graded here yet, but let me say here what I have here. We had here yesterday winners on Tony's Picks with Georgia State and Arizona State. Game to go under yesterday was a winner here for me on the site. And we also had another winner with Oakland over Central Florida. So 4-2 day for me here. So check me out over at Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 15% off all premium pick packages, including mine here on Tuesday night. That's going to do it here for Night Moves. Appreciate it. Be back tomorrow with more here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. For Tony'sPicks.com, I'm Ramon Scott. So long from Night Moves.